I know, right? What's going on now? J-Dog? You're panning gold again? Huh. Yeah, it's been a hot minute, but hey. And this time I'm going to do things different. Not even going to tell you who I'm panning out. Just going to go for it. I already did my classifies. Just give you one hint. I got this little vial here I've been trying to fill up for a while. And, yeah, this pay dirt only comes out once in a while. So, anyway, I'm going to talk about that. We're going to talk about uh, my trip to LA while we do some panning. So let's rock and roll. So, like I said, we're going to do this pretty much backwards. I'm going to start with the big old chonkers. Just get those wet, rinse them off. Yeah. Forget how muddy this stuff was. Yeah, it's alright. Not every time, but sometimes there's a chunk, at least a noticeable piece that gets passed or stuck, but not this time. This will be the first pan. So yeah, we're chit-chatting about things too, right? So, a lot of you guys didn't know I was in Los Angeles for 31 days on a project for work. So getting away for a while. And before that, I hadn't been doing much panning or anything for that matter. Just because work, life, you know, everything catches up. Cost of everything was going crazy. Still going crazy. Kind of funny. Got home on Friday night and driving past the gas stations. I'm like, what? It's over $4 here? And then got up the next morning, went to the local smoke shop, vape shop to get my normal vapes, which were banned here in Utah anyway, about a year ago. But there's still some secret locations, you could say, or, you know, you can still find some vapes if you wanted to. And, well, I went in Saturday morning to the shop and I was directly told, no mas, sir. Nope, can't help you. Don't know what you're talking about. Have a nice day. I asked him what happened. We're not allowed to comment. I was like, holy crap. So I started thinking to myself, like, how long was I gone? Was I in a coma? When I left for LA, gas was like $2.35 a gallon, and I could still buy an illegal vape. I come home, gas is over $4 a gallon, and I can't even buy an illegal vape. Oh well. That happens in 4 weeks. I tell you, never watched so much news in my life than I did in those 31 days sitting in a hotel. Well, Not that I was sitting in a hotel, but if you are familiar with hotels, if you turn the TV on, the default channel is usually some news station, right? So, of course, the news was on every time I turned the TV on. And, yeah, I guess I should have gone through this before I did this. There's nothing in there anyway. So I'll clean that up. I think we'll just dump that. But yeah, crazy. I was in Los Angeles doing work, running 6,000 fiber optic cables for a project. So my head was looking up and down and running cables all around. But interesting times. All right, that's enough of the big one. I'm going to clean this up. I'm going to change that water again too, because I just dumped a whole bunch of rubbing alcohol in there. That's what was in here. Anyway, clean up. We'll get back to the good stuff, and we'll continue our story. All right. Cleaner water. Cleaner than the streets of LA. Oh, yes. Told you we'd be talking about that. Well, we do some panning. So this is our 20 mesh. So it was a very interesting trip. Besides the fact of running 6,000 cables, I wasn't alone. And I was the lead from Salt Lake to go help the lead from Los Angeles get this project done. We had about 14 guys at one point. Huge project, a lot of fun. Many days, many hours. We were working 6 days a week, 10 hours a day. So the overtime was good. Money was good. Just a lot of work. Ooh, look at that. Just a lot of gold. Get back up there. Very interesting place, though. I would say, I don't know. Sure, go visit. Why not? Now, I happened to stay downtown for the first 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. Yeah. It's really close to where work was. In fact, about a block and a half, city block away. I mean, nice and easy. Getting back and forth. City blocks in downtown. Yeah, those are interesting. So, even though it's downtown LA, noticed a lot of places were still closed. And I talked to people that live down there, and they said, yeah, since the pandemic, a lot of things changed, a lot of things never opened back up. So it wasn't as hopping as it used to be, they say. But I'll tell you, I'm not a big city person. I've lived in big cities, bigger cities, around bigger cities. Just not for me. But there's some advantages. Advantages being just about anything you want to do. Yeah, it's right there. Anything you want to see. Yep, it's right there too. Unfortunately, there are things that you probably don't want to see, and that's right there too. Right now, that's what we do want to see. Some nice, pretty, shiny gold. And like I said, we're doing this backwards, so we're getting the big stuff first. The nice thing about downtown and where I was staying, outside of being close to work, well, the view was great. If you guys didn't see any of my posts, check out this little clip of the sunset I caught. Onto our 30 mesh here. Not much to it. But, as I was going on, anything you want to do, anything you want to see, anything you don't want to see, including human poop and pee on the streets. Yes, there are still homeless people down there, and some are crazy. But it wasn't as bad as you would expect. I'll tell you, one thing I noticed, even downtown, not once did I really feel afraid or, like a whole different vibe in a big city. I'll tell you that. We'll talk about vibes here in a bit. The difference between down there and coming back home to Utah. Before we talk about that, more about down there. Very interesting. So, you want restaurants? You got 15 restaurants within 3 blocks. Grocery stores? Yeah. Got one a couple blocks away. Everything's in walking distance, which is nice. But you have to walk through the city. It's loud. It's people-y. And it's smelly. So, like, after the first 10 days, I got the room extended another week. Because, of course, I had to stay. And that was fine. And then came, after 17 days, they said, well, we're going to need you another week there. I'm like, cool, no problem. Book my room, we'll be good. Actually, they knew I needed to stay before that, but I told them to book my room in advance. They waited until the Friday before my room expired, which happened to be the Friday right before the Oscars and Chinese New Year downtown. So, I didn't get a chance to stay at that hotel. I basically got kicked out. No rooms available for you. Company said, there's really nothing down there for you. But we need you to stay. We want you to find a place suitable, and we'll pay for your travel, basically your Uber. So of all places, I ended up finding a room in Hollywood on La Brea Boulevard, about 2 blocks away from the Chinese Theater. And the check-in day was the day of the Oscars. How I got that room, I have no idea. But I got that for 1 week. It's a shitty room. Bed was hard as a rock. And was in Hollywood. I got to go see the stars on the sidewalk and see the wax museum. Here's a picture of me and Jack hanging out. And but mostly it was work, so I didn't really get a lot of time to do much other than the wax museum, which was a lot of fun. Very interesting. And of course, since it's Hollywood and since it's California, it's tourist trap, right? So everything's expensive. My ticket for the Madame Tussauds, or however you want to say that, cost me $35. And there were a bunch of other ones on Hollywood Boulevard wanted to check out, but all the same, right? Go into an attraction that takes you probably 30 minutes to go through for $35 adds up. So, besides that, I didn't really have a lot of time. So then I ended up staying there for 7 days, and they wanted yet another week. So I ended up going back to the original hotel because all the hoopla was done, the Oscars were gone, Chinese New Year was done, and we could get a nice room again. So that's what happened. And that's where I got some interesting time to spend with some of the finer folks of Los Angeles, I should say. By the way, the whole week I stayed in Hollywood, I had to take an Uber back and forth to work. Average cost of an Uber from Hollywood to downtown Los Angeles on a weekday, during rush hour, you're looking at $30 at least one way. If you catch it just wrong, closer to $60, $70 for a trip. And mind you, this was 9 miles from my hotel to work. Cost that much money, and the trip took about 40 minutes. So, here's one thing I gotta say about that mess. Screw you, LA, for that one. Big time. Don't try to drive down there. Just don't. Uber's the way to go. Just be patient. Kick back in the back seat. Turn your YouTube on. Or your video game. Whatever you gotta do. Relax and let the driver do the driving. You know. Anyway. Alright. Let's get down to the minus 30. We'll be right back. And down to the nitty gritty. The minus 30. And where did we leave off? Oh yeah. Talking about the vibes, right? Vibes in LA are very cool. I felt more welcome there than I did in my hometown, believe it or not. Did I already say this? No, I'll have to go back and look. I don't know. Got off the plane. Felt like I was being judged again. And that's not cool. But oh yeah, that was the other thing I was going to tell you guys before I stop bitching. It was pretty neat to see little four-wheeled robots running up and down the streets, delivery carts for DoorDash. Just a little robot cart. Oh, and the cars, right? So, yes, the future is now. Some of you guys may have seen these on the news, or I don't know, maybe you live in a city that has them, but in LA, they've got this thing called Waymo, which fully automated driving experience, right? There's no driver. Right now, they're fancy little Jaguar. I think you know what I mean. Jaguar. Little SUV type cars. And yeah, no driver. Cruise around, pick you up, take you where you need to go. Last I checked, they weren't approved for the highway yet. And I was going to take one day from Hollywood down to work, but unfortunately the ride timing and price didn't work out to what I needed for work, so I didn't get a chance to try it out. But yeah, it was a 9-mile trip from Hollywood down to downtown LA, and they take all the back roads. It would have taken about 40 minutes for 9 miles. But hey, no driver. And the funny thing is they still ask for a goddamn tip. I think. Who are you tipping? So they got robots to deliver food, cars that don't need drivers. You know, it would be a lot better, and this is where I'll sign off on this whole topic about LA. If you can make a car drive people around with no driver and a little robot to deliver your food, then I think you guys should probably come up with a little robot goes around and cleans up the human poop on the sidewalks of your cities. Because that's just kind of nasty, y'all. Seriously. Yes. That was the very unpleasant part. Homeless are there, and they do their thing. Fortunately, they don't have a lot of options. But enough of that. outside of that, it was a very interesting 31-day trip in what I will dub Hell A. Because if you're not from there, you're not used to living there, pretty much feels like that. Gotten home, I haven't heard one siren screaming down my street since I've been home. The only sound I hear outside of my window right now is the crickets. Yeah, it's the difference. Small town, big town. Anyway, let's rip through this, see what we end up with. I'll bring you guys back for the, well, we're just going to zoom through this. Not a bring back. Just see what we get. All right. You got most of that out of there. Let's get her excuse me. Let's get ourselves a snuffer dump and get it cleaned up, dried out, weighed, all that good stuff. And maybe I'll reveal who this is if you guys haven't already figured it out. Wasn't the point of the video. This was just to hang out, pan some gold, some very pretty gold, and talk about my experiences in LA. And what I could share. Video's already going to be long, so for anybody who's stuck around to listen to all the rambles, I appreciate that. Anybody new, you know what to do. Thumbs up, subscribe, leave a comment. Helps me out. Ooh, snuffy dump. I would say we got ourselves some nice gold right there. Nice shiny pieces. Some nice chunky ones too. Well, I really like this one. All right, I'm going to dry this out. We'll get back for a wait. Gotta wait for the wait. Typical. This looks like a firework. Poof. Anyway, cool. Everything dried out. Everything ready to weigh up. Let's see if we got our pretty treasure. Well, if we got the right amount of our pretty treasure. Anyway, let's see what we found. And to kind of wrap up the conclusion, you know, there's chaos everywhere. Come back home, and during the making of this video, I spent a couple days just kind of goofing around doing this, filming and thinking and catching random things. But you really can't beat this. So, back home in Utah, apparently, there's a measles outbreak. You know, I don't know if this is going on everywhere, It's not really funny, but at the same time, it's like, weren't all these people just like lining up to get shit jabbed into their veins a few years ago to prevent a certain virus? And then all of a sudden, some of these same people were saying, no, I don't want my kids to have these vaccinations. Measles. Come on, guys. Think about when the last time you heard about a measles outbreak. Yeah. Anyway, a little rant about that part while I'm doing this. Chaos everywhere. Doesn't matter where you live. LA, Utah, Wyoming, probably got something going on there. I'm sure. Wherever. And that's the other thing. If there's a source to communicate and gossip, then you'll know. It's just sticking to my brush. It's distracting my thought waves. It's terrible. The older I get, the fewer of those I get, or have, or something. See? Alrighty. That's a nice little pile of gold. Get our scale going. Get a good gander. See what we got. Uh-oh. What are we doing? Tar that out. It's probably going to be close enough. If it's not, I'm not worried about it. I know what I'm about to get, and it'll be close enough. But anyway, minus the cat hairs. I used the wrong paper. It's clingy. But, and I spilt a bunch all over the place. Exactly what I expected, though. Right around that mark. 1 gram. Close to 1.1. But, or not really, but anyway. Wasn't the point. This was just a point to, kind of hang around, chit chat, do something different, catch some shiny gold. If you guys didn't know already, I'll tell you this was a high grader bag from Gold Nugget Sales. No big surprise, just to try to fill up my little vial. I get them whenever he goes and sells them, but wasn't to shout him out so much this time as to just chill, pan, have fun, talk about some adventures and experiences. Till next time, hope you guys like this one. There it is. We'll catch you guys on the next one.